All right, welcome to our lecture Clear as Day over effective communication. Why is providing proof or evidence important for your argument? So a good, effective, and clear response should have three components. We need to have claim and evidence and reasoning. All three of those need to be present. The claim tells us what do we know? What is the answer? The evidence is representing how do we know that? What is the proof that is backing up our claim? And the reasoning is critical and sometimes the hardest to explain. It's the why. Why is that evidence proof for that answer? So let's look at an example. Let's practice. So the question here is analyze how quickly Keanu Reeves is heading down the hill. So we have a diagram here. We have different locations and different speeds. The analysis question is, how does the data describe what is happening to the bus? Explain your answer and support it with specific details and explanation. So let's look at this possible response. The bus accelerates as it goes downhill. It starts at 0.47 meters per second and ends at 1.09 meters per second, which shows that the bus gains speed down the hill. This acceleration is caused because the forces acting on the bus are unbalanced. We know it accelerated because the final speed is different than the initial speed. So let's do a quick check and let's see what makes this an effective response. So we want to do a quick color it up here, meaning underline the claim, highlight the specific details or evidence, and circle the explanation, the evidence, or the reasoning. So I would underline the claim, the bus accelerates as it goes downhill. That is the claim, that is the answer. Then I'm highlighting the evidence. This is the how do we know that, or proof. So I highlighted it starts at 0.47 meters per second and ends at 1.09 meters per second, which shows that the bus gained speed down the hill. That's the evidence that's supporting my claim. Now, I've circled this last part because that's the reasoning. This acceleration is caused because the forces acting on the bus are unbalanced. We know it accelerated because the final speed is different than the initial speed. What that reasoning is doing is telling us why that piece of evidence is good evidence to connect to my claim. The reasoning is extremely important. So let's look at another practice. View the picture and answer the question that follows. Are you going to lie there all day? That's the plan. Newton's first law of motion, an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. How does Garfield the cat represent Newton's first law of motion? Explain your answer, support it with specific details. So, did your answer have a claim? Did it have evidence? And did it have reasoning? If you had all three of those things, then you had a good answer. So we might have said something like the claim being that Garfield the cat represents Newton's first law of motion because he will not stop resting until there is a force acting upon him. The Newton's first law says that there must be an unbalanced force to accelerate him to change his speed. And since I see that he's at rest, then he will remain in that condition until there is some force to make him not at rest. The reason this is an important strategy is because it allows us to communicate very clearly, but without having to be very wordy. We want to be very clear and to the point and say what our claim is, provide our evidence, and then we probably want to spend a couple sentences explaining our reasoning. why does that evidence make good proof for the claim?